All right, I'm not done before turning the page yet because I'm reading so much stuff online. I don't know what's true and what's not. Is there an issue with Jalen Brunson's dad, Rick, being an assistant on this team? Is there a problem in the locker room with this, James?
That has never been brought to my attention.
Okay.
Yeah, that's never been. Now, would I be surprised if there was a player or two that had an issue with it? I mean, it's a unique situation, right? I have never been told that. Rick has, I know, obviously been with Tibbs for a long time, been with Leon Rose for a long time, brings value to the organization. Now, like I said, I haven't been told that specifically by any players, but if you told me that there were players that were struggled with it at times, like you could understand why from a human personal standpoint.
Well, I'm going to put the Knicks fan hat on here. Whoever those players are, it's too bad. Honestly, like there's one guy out of everybody else, certainly with this Giannis stuff that might be out there, James, that is untouchable. Untouchable. He is a Knick for life, and it is the son of Rick Brunson. Period. End of story. And so that's the thing. When I read that, I'm like, oh, man, you want to talk about how this thing can get ugly and spun out of control. It's that. You're talking about Jalen's dad and his presence is an issue. I mean, I'm kind of glad to hear that this hasn't been brought to bear to somebody who's an insider.
Yeah, this wasn't something that like came up in conversations with people. It's not something that was talked about off to the side or anything. And at least with me and a few others I know. Again, from a human standpoint, could you understand how somebody could have an issue with it? Of course, but Jalen Brunson is the face of the Knicks. He's the best player the franchise had in quite some time. He's a tremendous leader. He's a perfect representative of an organization and its transformation from somewhat laughingstock to stability and respect. There's not a better face for that. And of course, we know how talented he is as a player. But that's how much revere and how much kind of power he has here. Like and when I mean power is like this is his show. This is his team. This team was built around his abilities and his development of a player.
Sir, you could remove the word somewhat from that statement.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, I know you have sensitivities about covering the team and being around players that you have access to. They were a laughing stock. And that's why, again, I'm somewhat surprised. So Thibodeau's firing means the team is completely sold on the roster that they currently have, and thus it's this guy who didn't have the right rotations, didn't have the right ingenuity, didn't have the right touch, didn't have the right communication skills, and thus he's the one that's got to go, despite the laughing stock no longer at all being the case for this franchise. James?
So that was my thing. Like, you can point to reasons why you could come to the conclusion why he was fired, right? Like, this talented starting five, they had a negative net rating for the second half of the year. They struggled in the playoffs. If you want to say he should develop the bench, that's fair. But there was a lot of young rookies on that bench. It was a situation where this guy, I thought, maximized the situation. As I mentioned at the top of the show, this team got put together hours before training camp. Karl-Anthony Towns was traded the Friday before training camp. That is a big piece. And that also comes with a lot of changes to how you operate, right? Like, he's not the defender Mitchell Robinson is or Isaiah Hartenstein was. Like, you have to build a whole new system around that. And I think for Tibbs, the big thing for me is he's a guy who has helped turn this culture around. He has helped provide stability. Given that this team was put together in a year, and not even a full year, and they still got to the Eastern Conference Finals, not everything needed to be perfect. But I thought just his track record alone would give him another season to try to rectify whatever it is that they felt was not correct this year. And that was my biggest thing. You can point to certain things, basketball stuff, why they decide that they maybe need to get another coach in there. But I feel like out of respect for what he's done, give him another chance to try to smooth out whatever the basketball stuff is that they feel needs to be fixed.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.